Call to order regular city council meeting at Osakis City Hall on Monday, May 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. General consent items. One thing I would like to note, on the May calendar, you show May 27th for the parks meeting. I think it should be May 26th.
Should be on Tuesday.
Yep, we got it on Wednesday.
If there are no other changes, I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda and paying the bills of $398,010.50.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda with a change to the main calendar, Parks Board at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, May 26th, and to approve bills of $398,010.50. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to project number 79, our audit. Dean, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You want to have a chair that is fine?
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds good. I can use the exercise. Anyway, well, thank you, Mayor. Good to be here tonight to run through the 2025 audit report. I guess that's the year we're on now. So yeah, I know you see familiar faces, so it'll be kind of the same drill as we've done in the past. I've just got selected items here where I see some of the blue reports where you guys have the full report, and but I'll just reference my page numbers if you guys want to catch up there. We'll just do a copy, and if there's something I don't cover here that you guys have in the report that you want to talk about, by all means read up. So thank you for getting me on early to another meeting and a little bit too. So this is perfect. So, and who would want it's a perfect night for meetings?
Yes.
I wish I had three, but anyway. Okay, if you guys want to turn to page one. Page one is the first page of the report. It's the independent auditor's report, and this is. Did everybody have a packet?
They all have what you sent me, yep.
Yeah, you know
It's
what's
One right
Yep,
there.
I didn't see them right away, but I see one there. If you guys have the packet, Angela, I sent her what I was gonna run over. So if you have that, we'll just kind of see fumbling through the bigger reports on this. But anyway, so the first page is the independent auditor's report. And the main part of this is the second paragraph where it says unmodified opinion on regulatory basis of accounting. And after we get done with our audit, all the procedures, all the steps, all the work, then we have to, that's when we draft this report. We can't do it at the beginning of the audit. We don't know the outcome of the audit. So, but anyway, the second paragraph, unmodified in our business is, that means it's as good as it gets. You can't get a better opinion than unmodified opinion. Modified would mean there's some modifications to the report, and it doesn't mean they don't happen. But unmodified is the gold standard. It doesn't matter with any other CPA firm, you can't get a better opinion than an unmodified opinion. And it does say on the regulatory basis of accounting, and that is, state of Minnesota allows cities that are under 2,500 in population to report on what they call the regulatory basis, but it's really a cash basis. And many of our city audits take advantage of it, as do many cities in the state of Minnesota. It simplifies things a little bit. You're still getting a full-blown audit. We're doing pretty much the same steps and procedures that we would do under a full-blown audit. And the report, it simplifies the report somewhere. It's less pages and a little bit less disclosure and those type of things. But it's a good option, and I think cities, I think it's a good choice to take advantage of. So anyway, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's the arguably the most important part of the audit, that paragraph there. So, okay, you guys want to turn to the next page? We'll take a look at the numbers here, and we won't a lot of numbers, and it's tough to get real deep into the numbers. That's we did most of the digging with Angela and her team. That's really a lot of the number work, but this is this first page 6 on the bottom. This is the city has two types of funds. You have governmental funds and then you have enterprise funds. And enterprise is probably easier to say what that is versus governmental. That's your water, sewer, and liquor, and then there's the garbage recycle, I think, is the fourth one. And everything else is a governmental fund. And the difference between the two is your enterprise funds are really should operate like a private business. It should be your water fees, sewer fees, your liquor store. They should be able to, operate similar to a private business and not be dependent on tax money and state aids and things like that. So that's the big difference between the two. So this is the governmental part of it, which these are definitely dependent on governmental state aids, property taxes, special assessments, all those type of things. So the funds are across the top there, starting with the general fund, and as you just read across there, and if you look, you can see from the activity that the first column, the general fund, is where the heavy lifting is for the city, which is the case for just about every city that we audit. The general fund is all the administration, the streets, lots of different things are happening in the general fund. And so that fund is really active, and as you can see by the numbers, the expenses and revenues are much higher than any other fund listed on this particular statement. And one barometer, a question that might come up is what's an adequate fund balance for your general fund. So if you look at the very bottom page, the first column, that's your ending fund balance. In this case, it's called cash fund balance, but in that world, that's really not that terribly far off. Even if you were doing full accrual or modified accrual for governmental funds. I would say under any measure, if you look at your general fund balance, that very bottom number, that you meet or exceed the recommendations. A lot of the recommendations are based on the fund balance divided by your disbursements and your annual disbursements. And you guys, like I say, that's 160% for the city, and some recommendations are 20 to 50%, 50, seldom, 50 is a recommendation, and sometimes a little higher. But that fund has been built up really since the inception of the city. Although maybe the accounting standards were different way back when. I saw outside the city was incorporated in 18 something.
Yeah.
57?
Yeah.
1857. So I don't handle that far back. But anyway, that fund balance has been built up and it's just a, for lack of a better way, to put it, kind of a rainy day fund. And it's, the balance is very, so. Okay, there's just a couple other TIF fund there, third column, that's TIF-15, residential TIF fund there for housing, and yeah, so that kind of takes care of a run through the governmental funds. If you guys want to turn to next page, it's on page 8, and this is the enterprise funds, this is water, sewer, and liquor, and same type of statement. It just shows the receipts and the disbursements for the enterprise funds. And we go down to, it's about the 5th or 6th line from the bottom, where it says net cash income or loss before transfers. And that just shows how much really the cash increased or decreased before transfers for each of those funds. And on a cash basis, those things can fluctuate quite a bit. If you look at the sewer fund, that increased a lot. But if you look at that increase, you go up 4 or 5 lines, there were some bonds issued. So that all came in this year. Well, in the very, very near future, you guys will be spending that money. So you would the expectation would be lower in the future than the cash. So anyway, but overall, the very far right shows just the totals of all those, and I think all funds are functioning as intended, and this next page, it's page 5 on the bottom. It's actually not part of the city, the main report. We do 2 reports. We do the separate enterprise fund report for water, sewer, and liquor. I just included it for a kind of comparison basis. This is the full accrual for water, sewer, and liquor. And a prime example of how it differs, if you look at the, again, about 4 or 5 lines from the bottom, the sewer fund on this page 5 on the bottom, if you look at that number compared to what the sewer fund was on the cash basis, it's quite different, because, there's the thing we put on the balance sheet as liabilities, assets, and all of that. So they do differ. This would be what's considered, the accurate, the GAAP way, generally accepted accounting principles. But anyway, so you guys do have those reports. They're included in the separately issued separate report, I should say, enterprise fund report. So, but again, all funds appear to be operating as intended and doing just fine. So, okay, the next page is page 10. This is the last financial statement that we'll look at. It's just the city also has what's called a fiduciary fund. It's a revolving loan trust fund. It's not much activity, but basically what it is, the city's just kind of has funds that are held for others, and you guys kind of do the accounting for that. So that's why it's reported as a fiduciary trust fund. But again, not much activity, but it is required to be included and reported. So next page, this one's on page 34 on the bottom. I always think it's a nice report, it's included in the report, supplemental information, and it's just a listing of all the bond and debt, all the long-term indebtedness of the city. And it's a lot of good information. If you look at that first column, or second column after the one that's interest rates, if you look at the all those rates going down, the city, really, locked into some really favorable rates years ago when rates were quite a bit lower, and so that makes a big difference. And so anyway, that's the interest rates there, the issue date, the maturity dates. And then the last four columns are, where the debt started the year, and then what you guys issued. There was a little bit issued there on some 2025 general obligation sewer revenue bonds. And then the third column of that far right is the amount you guys paid down in the debt. And then the final column on the right is the total outstanding at the end of December 2025. So it's just it's a good, I think it's a really good schedule to see, just not a picture like that with this and what's happening with the long-term debt there. So it's perfectly normal. Long-term debt is, it's just, especially with projects and stuff, it's just the way it works. So anyway, if you guys want to turn to page, next page is 39. And this is as part of our audit of internal controls, and we have a couple findings related to those internal controls. First one is segregation of duties, and ideally, every transaction of the cities should have two sets of eyes on those transactions, and it's just difficult sometimes with limited staff. You guys do have multiple staff, office staff, but to have those ideal segregation of duties, it gets pretty detailed, and so we with that we do report that as a finding, and what it doesn't mean, it does not mean the city does not have internal control. The city has very good internal controls. These meetings are what you guys go through, what you look at, the reports that you get. That's those are really good internal controls. You get to see a lot of the details, and those are good things to look at, to prove, and if you have questions, it's right there to question too. So anyway, but in our business, I would say 95% of our city audits have a similar finding. It's just for cost benefit to get rid of the finding. You maybe have to hire a person or two, and generally it's not good cost benefits. So just to get rid of that. Okay, you guys want to turn next? It's page 40 on the bottom. The second finding related to the internal controls. We prepare the financial statements, the blue books there, front page to back page. And if we do that, it's important for us to be independent. If we're not independent, it's hard to, we need to be independent when we're doing our audit. That's an independent auditor's report. And so we have to have measures in place to make sure, even if we prepare that, we need to make sure that the city is taking responsibility. And so what we do is basically the blue final report, we send a draft to Angela, and she gets a chance to review it, approve, and make changes, suggestions, whatever. And after she does that, she signs a representation letter and then takes responsibility for it. So ultimately, the city is taking responsibility for the financial statements. And if we didn't do that, then we would not be independent. That's not where we want to be. And but again, in our business, that's probably a 95% finding rate, close to 100 probably. So anyway, so that's takes care of everything that's actually in the audit report. The next page is it's a separately issued letter. It's communication to both charters governments. It's a required letter that we have to issue in all of our audits, governmental, private, the whole works. And so this one, just a handful of items here. At the bottom of the first page, it's difficulties encountered in performing the audit. We did not have any difficulties. It's quite contrary. Angela and her team always have everything in really good shape, and they provide us what we need timely, and it works very well. We use a portal for most of our delivery, and it works really well. So, okay, the next page, corrected and uncorrected misstatements. Really, what we're talking about there are audit adjustments, and we do have some during the audit, and not a lot of them, but and some of them are just because we tend to start the audit fairly early. It's third week in January, somewhere in there. So, so we don't always give, Angela, probably if we had more time, we'd have less adjustments. And, but that's at the time that we've kind of always done that. So sometimes, yeah, I think if it was, if it was delayed some, then we'd have less adjustments, but we don't, and we don't have that many adjustments. But that's what that's all about. The adjustments, and once, at the end of the audit, any adjustments that need to be posted into the city records, we'll pass along to the city, and then you guys post them to your books, so that you can agree with the audit report. It's a really important step, and that needs to be done. So the next item is disagreements with management. We did not have any disagreements with management. We required to report that. If we did, we'd have to report that as well. Management representations, we already talked about that. That's after Angela finishes the review, and then that rep letter is signed April 6th. And if you look at the audit report, all the reports are dated April 6th. That's when that review was finished. So the last item there is management consultations with other independent accountants. That might be a matter where the city talks to another CPA firm and might want a different suggestion or opinion on maybe how to report property taxes or state aids or something like that. If we were aware of something like that, those communications with another CPA firm, we call that opinion shopping. We would be required to include it in this letter if we were aware of something like that. We're not aware of anything like that, but we have to report that as well. So anyway, so yeah, with that, that's kind of a run through what I have, and again, the audit, Angela and Lynette and the team just do a really good job and have everything ready for us in good shape. And so yeah, with that, if you guys have any questions or comments?
There is one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how big a deal it is, but my term has been, the mayor's term has been in 2026, not 2027.
Okay.
So, and like I say, I don't know how big an issue it is, but
What we could do, we can, those they get a little tricky because the elections are usually in November, and but then the person's not sworn in until
January.
So, but bottom line, we want to write to it, if you do want to change what we.
And I don't know if it really makes that big a difference. I just wanted, I didn't, I noticed that,
Yeah.
Stephanie and Laura,
Yeah.
their term is done December 31st, as is the mayor.
Yep.
And at this point, I'm not gonna be,
Okay.
so,
Well, here's what we could do. We can, the simplest way to do it, if that's the only change, we will reprint that, we punch the binder and just run, ideally the way in our business when that happens, what we want to do, we want to collect every report that's been issued. So however many reports we issue, we'd like you ideally collect them all and then send you guys the updated, the all punched out. So like I do it, we actually send a tool with you too. It just goes into that binder edge. It just pops right open. Doesn't damage or do anything, and you just go in and replace that page. And so that we can certainly do that. And then maybe with the terms, if they're the same, we can do that. And then, yeah, we would just send it to you, Angela. And then if you, in the PDF, we just send you an updated PDF. Because any reports that would go to third parties, then that one's real easy. We just run them, just update it. Word document, and just
Yeah.
PDF, so.
Or if you just wanna leave them, then when it gets there, I'll change them, then come back.
I really didn't mind.
You know what it really means, is
She's just gonna have to stay another year. Shocks.
Well, that would be the easiest.
See, look at that convenience right there. No, I am good with mine. I'm just.
Okay. Let's,
As long as I get the PDFs, that's what I send out.
Yes.
That's the important thing, because a lot of the rule development of PFA, they all want copies of audit.
yeah, okay. Okay, so, and you have one too, Angela, or you're,
I do,
okay, you're gonna hang on to yours, or you're gonna?
you can share that, I have the PDF, so it's easier to search that, than these in.
Then our PDF is an option.
I could send them,
Oh, this day and age, it's.
that's what everybody wants, they don't want those things.
Yeah, that's the way it's going, there's no doubt about it, segue and, so yeah, for me, just the last note, guys, for me, this is probably, you may not see me again, this is probably gonna be the end, for me here, I'll be 62 next March, really close, but, didn't work on the audit, but I'm not sure I'll make it to the council meeting. So,
Yeah, happy retirement.
yeah, it'll be 40 years.
Good for you.
Yeah, so it'll be, I'm ready, I think, and, so yeah, just, but we've got a plan in place, we, acquired, another CPA firm, and they have a very, very, very comparable business to us, or to what we were doing, what they were doing, so yeah, it's, that'll be, I think it'll be a good transition. Greg is, he is the partner, was a partner of that firm, now he's a partner. And, yeah, he's pretty sure. So that's good. I think it'll be a good transition. But like I say never. It just so happens we get done early and I make one more meeting. Never say never.
Yep.
Thank you, good, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you guys. Yep, you too.
Thank you.
So Angela, do you pay per copy for these?
There's probably a fee included, if they ask me how many I want.
Okay, I'm just wondering, is that something we would want to see as the council, just a PDF that we can run through?
To the pages.
Well, and
Some
exactly,
of them have gone through the pages, but
right.
I like this way better.
And then you don't find it.
They know how to find it.
We can always send out, yeah, I will always get a copy,
Mhm.
because,
Well, hard copy, absolutely.
yeah, but we have to keep it for forever. It's one of our required things, but PDF, we used to send those out, now everybody wants to just the PDFs email them, so that's all we
Works for me,
send.
that's the space in my drawer at home.
One thing I like about it is you have the little search bar, and you can search for things, and if you're trying to find some, but.
Well, especially when he went through the report and we had copies of all of it, so they had copies of all of it.
Yeah.
We got the sound version on this side as well.
You can look at that for next year.
Lovely, thank you.
I see Mr. Schultz. Do we want to just move him forward so that
I
he
think so, he's getting
have to
tired.
sit here all evening?
That concert too.
Get more front row seat than us.
I would assume you're here for the special event, am I correct?
Yep,
Let's see if we can find that little bad boy here.
very last one was this.
Your help is got a paper clip on the back.
Right.
Okay, we will move ahead, on project 468. Ms. Schultz, would you like to come up here with us? Special event request, if state's favor is, has submitted a special event application for Osakis Days. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they wanted to, beautification, beach, sorry.
You want different motions for both of them, Angela?
Yes,
I'm gonna motion to approve beach party.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve special event for Osakis Beach Party on May 28th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And this is you just blocking up part of the Main Street, Central.
From Central to the alley, so it's like, what,
Half block.
eight parking spots? Yeah, just for the purple.
and all of it's gonna be downtown, Jason, this year?
Oh, the Central Park, yeah, on Saturday.
Nothing in the park.
Not that we're,
Okay.
The chambers.
yeah, no, somebody else does something on that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Well, second motion is made and seconded to approve Osakis Days event on June 20th. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You're out of here.
Yeah, so that should be 2 minutes.
Thank you.
See you.
Broken camera when we went together.
Project number 46, EDU or water and sewer EDU charge. We have a draft of an ordinance, that would apply to all properties that have a building, house, or business on a property. They would pay a base fee unless they use the property throughout the year, then they would pay a minimum of 6 months at the regular rate. Currently only done with residential customers.
So I feel the need to just explain this, because we've been into this discussion for some time.
Please.
Like, what are we doing? And the discussion started, we're gonna charge, or they wanna look at charging every property, vacant, or building on it, or a house on it. And then we said, you know what, we're not gonna do any open property, so anybody that has this open land. But then we talked about having any building that's sitting there, or houses that are sitting there, charging a base fee. So currently, our practice is anybody that's seasonal, and we get about 115 homes in Lake Street and in town in the winter that go south or aren't here in the winter. So they're charged this base fee in the wintertime, like a seasonal rate. In the summer, then they're turned on for 6 months, whether they're here for 6 months or not, they're paying like the main rate. And so what we're looking to do with these properties is treat them similarly. If they're seasonal, meaning they're not here all the time, they're just gonna pay the base fee all year long. And we had a list of how many there were. There wasn't a whole lot of them, but some of them are some houses that are maybe less than desirable houses. There's some properties that, like one being this gentleman with the First National Bank or whatever, they have their building, but they don't use water. So they don't have a bill. Well, should they have a base fee? This is what this would authorize us to do, is charge those people. I did have one person come in that has a business, but they didn't wanna have it on all the time and asked if we could just shut it off for a few months. I said, well, that's what we're looking at the meeting is, we shut you off, you're gonna still have a base fee, but you wanna be at a main rate, and he was looking to save some money is why, but you would have to pay that fee also, so just so you're aware of it applying to everybody that has a property, whether they're using it actively or not. They would still have to pay.
I guess, a couple of questions that I had for Angela that maybe is a topic of discussion is when exactly do we want to implement this, and do we have these property owners, they've gotten already one, they know, like they've gotten something in the mail saying this is going to happen, or no? Only on if they read the minutes or.
Right, only if they're involved. We haven't sent letters to those that are going to be affected by it. We look through the list that we have and the water bills we have. Now we went from an old system to a new system, so we're confident we have it, but we could have missed a few because some of the inactive accounts didn't transfer to our new system when they were just sitting there not utilizing them, so. But it is not a lot of people.
Okay.
But there are some people that aren't, you know, one being like Tim Oler, owns this house down here, he's been remodeling, that's been off without water use for years and years and years, and there's a few other houses like that. That are just sitting there, and then we would propose that they're gonna be charged a fee just because they're sitting there.
Right.
And the water's available to them.
Cause I didn't know if this was like, we're putting this on the fee schedule for 2027, or should we send them a letter saying we plan to implement this on a certain date and.
But we already have it on our fee schedule, don't we?
We have it on our fee schedule, the seasonal rate, however, our ordinance doesn't state that we would charge somebody that has a vacant property.
Okay,
Access fee is what they call it. We're doing the seasonal one, it's a little different.
Okay.
And I'm fine either way, I just want us to be clear going
So-
forward.
And what Laura says, you guys could adopt and say, you know, we want you to start in June, or you could say, you know what, we're okay with moving forward, but it's not gonna start till January, or
Yes, because
we'd like to revisit it another time, it's all within options.
And if we go, let's say that we read the ordinance, we adopt it to start September. Okay, in that period of time, we could send letters to the affected property owners, correct? And could we amend the fee schedule to show it as seasonal access?
Yep, you sure could. And the process for adopting an ordinance in us is to read it. You have the option to waive the second reading, however, you could just read it tonight. I could send out letters to them saying this is a proposed ordinance we have. They'll be read at the June meeting. People wanna come, they're the ones affected by it, they can come and state anything they'd like. We're not required to do a public hearing on just a regular ordinance change, you are on zoning and liquor. So that's why I'm not going through a public hearing process, doesn't mean you can't, just means we're not required.
I do like that option of at least giving those who are affected an opportunity to come and voice their opinions.
So that we could move forward, though we could read tonight with the second reading, then next month, they'll get the letters out in the meantime.
That would be nice. At least gives them a heads up of what's going on, and if they do wish to come, they can at least, and potentially put something in the letter that if you do plan to come, we need to know ahead of time. Since we don't have, I mean, not that we're not flexible, but not having that open floor.
So is the council okay with me proceeding with reading the ordinance tonight? Ordinance number 126, an ordinance amending the City of Osakis Code, Chapter 50, General Water and Sewer to include a minimum charge for availability of utility services provision. The City Council of the City of Osakis, Minnesota does ordain Section 1 that the City of Osakis hereby amends Chapter 50 by adding Section 50.07 to the Osakis City Code, which shall read as follows. 50-07, minimum charges for availability of utility services. In accordance with Minnesota Statute 444.075, Subdivision 3C, minimum charges for the availability of water and sewer service may be imposed on all premises abutting on streets or other places where municipal water mains or sewers are located, whether or not connected to them. Minimum charges for the availability of utility services are listed in the city fee schedule and are collected from all system users and those who have reasonable access to sanitary, sewer, and water utilities. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon its adoption, approval, and publication in the official paper. I would entertain a motion to approve moving forward with this with a second reading in June.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to move forward with the adoption of ordinance change number 146 with the second reading to be made at the June City Council meeting. All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So the language of this, what says it's not a lot and it is, the premise piece?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe
I just thought it might bring in some questions. Maybe too much bargaining. Multiple bargaining.
And I know Troy planned on being here, but he's not here yet, so I think we'll just put him off to the side if that's okay with everyone. Project number 73, first responders. The first responder group received a resignation letter from Austin Byer and received an indication from Patty Thorson that she will be resigning. Hattie held the position of secretary for 2026. They're looking at accepting the resignations of both Austin and Hattie. And Shannon Graff, president, will seek, input from the first responder group regarding interest in filling the remaining secretary position, and then that will be brought to the council.
Yep, I had spoke with her and she was just wanting some direction. I told her I assumed she should appoint someone, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone.
That would be just fine.
And just to give you a little bit of, information just regarding this. Austin's last call and last meeting, November of 2025, and that was the same with Happy. So they have been absent for quite some time, so, they're really looking to getting this moved forward, and I needed to help her get those resignations, so.
Is she looking to try and replace them, or?
Oh, well, they're always looking for new membership,
Mhm.
but they will have, because Hattie was the secretary. So I will just give her some direction that she should just appoint someone to fill out that term,
Mhm.
and then they'll revote in December, if everyone's okay with that.
That's absolutely fine with me.
I will let her know then.
Thank you.
And I will make a motion to accept the resignation of Austin and of Hattie.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept resignation from Austin Byer and Hattie Thorson. As of May 11th, 2026, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Project number 76. At the April meeting, Councilmember Backus, brought up the, newest police squad lettering and wants to have a discussion regarding that. To just let you know, as liaison, the chief did speak to me about lettering the current vehicle. I was unaware of what happened in 2020. I apologize. And we'll just take it from there if we want to, or how we want to proceed.
The only thing that I did want to say and clarify with you, Judy, is, I feel like we've had a vehicle since then, so it was done correctly with the last vehicle, so I don't know why this changed, so you wouldn't have had a reason to know it, because.
And that's, and that's fine. Like I say, when Chad went to do the lettering, and the biggest reason that was even brought up, and he asked me about it, was that all the communities around us are doing it. And I can't remember his name, part-time down on Lake Street, Todd County.
Mashinsky?
His squad is lettered that way. And that's why Chad came to me and asked me. And the first thing I said was, what does the state statute say? Sure.
And I totally get that. It was a big topic of discussion last time, and the council at that time, and I think we were all kind of involved in it, was we wanted the vehicles to look uniform, we wanted a strong presence, and at no time after that have we given an indication differently. So I was just confused as to how it got changed then.
It was because of me.
Yeah. No, I don't think you, no, I will not agree with that.
Well, but
What it's saying is, the last time it was a big staff room,
Yes.
and it wasn't just the council, we got feedback from other people in the city that didn't think it was that way.
Yeah.
And so she's saying that Chad should be brought to you.
I was gonna
Because
say,
Yeah.
and
it should have been assumed we wanted to maintain.
I was gonna say, we'll go ahead and if you guys want it changed,
I would like to see it change.
I was gonna say, it will be changed. I will vote nay because I'm the one who said that he could do it. So, but like I say, to me, The only time anybody's concerned about lettering on a police car is if they're doing something wrong. And just like in the morning, most people know where he sits. I mean, they don't even have to see the lettering and they know it's Chad. You know, so like I say, but it's entirely up to you guys, whatever you wanna do. You know, like I say, I'm one of 5.
No.
So if you guys all feel the same way, I will certainly have Chad proceed and go ahead and do it.
I honestly, I would make that motion to have the vehicle lettered the same as the rest of the vehicles in uniform.
I wouldn't mind hearing why they are going to more unmarked. Is
And I
fully
don't,
marked.
I was gonna say, I don't know if anybody can answer that question. And I don't know when that, here too, like just the Minnesota State statute that says that you can do this, you know, and they have, you know, things that have to be in place in order for your department to do it. But I didn't look to see when that statute was adopted either. So,
And that's fine that we want that more information, but my motion still stands
Yep,
to keep it
yep.
uniform.
Maybe the city's changed, I'm just saying, at that time, everybody's pretty adamant about it. Maybe if you guys, you know, you go ahead your constituents, maybe it's changed.
I would second it.
I'm Greg. from
I did
Town
speak with
Manager.
Chief
Are you
Resident.
Yeah.
Okay, can I borrow your pen?
He
Am I supposed to sign?
mentioned a few different things.
Thank you.
Be right back.
Population wise, you can have one, like, it's, a city our size can have one on. He asked me about an emblem on the passenger door side
That's-
somewhere.
I was
I haven't
gonna
seen
say,
that yet,
it's there.
but I would imagine it
I
is
was
because he
gonna
said that you have
I was
to.
gonna say, that's what the statute states.
Yeah.
Is, you know, this is what you have to do to the vehicle in order to make it legal. So that's, I mean, that's what the statute states.
Right.
So, yeah, so like I say, there's a motion on the floor. If I have a second, we'll go to a vote and whatever happens, happen. So motion has been made and seconded. For us to have Chad get the truck, the newest squad, re-lettered, to match the rest of the vehicles. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carries.
He said, Jeff was coming in something like that.
Well, Jeff was supposed to be at the liquor store at 6:45, so he should be walking in the door here in a minute. I'm
I
assuming.
talked to Troy, he said he should be here pretty quick.
Okay. Well, then we will buzz through one more thing before he gets here.
I apologize, I didn't realize the meeting was going on, I thought it started that stuff, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Record number 205, Public Works. Darren has provided an updated equipment list with Woodstead, and they have prepared a draft design for our information. Angela and I kind of discussed this a little bit. I think there's a lot of questions that I would like to ask and for us to all look this over. And suggest maybe a workshop so that we can kind of go through all of this stuff, and discuss other options as far as, because I know I see in this, and Angela and I kind of discussed this, that Chad was wondering about putting a garage down there, so they put all the city offices down there again. And yeah, now like I say, there's just way lots of questions that I think that we need to look at. You know, like, do we go ahead and just spend the money to do the whole list right away and then we're not digging up concrete 5 years from now? Like I say, and then something else about just sticking your head when all this is going, while we're talking about this. Go ahead and just move ahead with the entire building, tear this one down and make this a city parking area. Because the parking for the community center is bad.
No, I mean,
So, do we want to set up a date for a workshop or, at this meeting, or do you want to just have Angela send us out emails so you guys can kind of look over your calendars?
As long as we're talking about workshop, just so we can get it on the agenda, a workshop for this and, I'm reading it right in here. Oh, what we had talked about, like upcoming difficult meetings, like when we had the public hearing,
Mm-hmm.
that, and then coming up, the long-term and short-term park and beach plan, if that can help, if we can just have a couple items.
And on that, when we talk about the park and beach plan, I'd like to discuss a little bit too about the beautification team. And then whatever else may pop up in the meantime.
And then you had mentioned to me about just some long-term planning, like being this brought up, maybe that's time to have some discussion
that
about
would
things.
be absolutely fine.
At least starting that process.
Yeah.
And then one thing you'll see later in your packet is, they're gonna open bids on that Main Street. So they want us to go review and approve, obviously, so they can start or not approve, but relatively soon after that, so that's on the 14th. So that might be next week, or then the following week is Memorial Day, so it'll be the end of the month. I'll send something out, yes. Yeah, already.
Not looking forward to that.
Okay, well, we'll try to get one more done here before. Try to get to project number 441, Park Board. We will need to approve the minutes for the Park Board. We want to get that out of the way right away.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve Park Committee minutes from April 28th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Update on the park project. All kinds of things have been happening. So I'm sure you all have heard that we have to go to an archaeological dig, and looks like that's gonna be at least, 60 to 90 days? And after
You saw my email today, right?
yeah, your email today, could it be another 15 or 20?
Yeah, now
Is
this gentleman that we hired is leaving their firm.
Wow.
So they're gonna sub-consult it to somebody else, so he said they didn't have to reapply to the state for this license to even dig, which was done on May 1st, now we're 2 weeks and then they can start, but they're saying 30 to 60 days just to get a license and then them to do it. And then as you see in my little list of items, best case scenario, they have 45 days and then they have this tribal council that has to review all the results and they have up to 60 days to come. So it will not be until October at this point.
Yep,
Yeah. so-
yes,
So is this something that was missed by,
no,
that this was all brought up?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, so we originally had to do like what I call like a desktop review of the area of what kind of tribal presence was here, and they basically said there's wouldn't be much there because we've already disturbed the property, we have a building, they wouldn't recommend doing anything more, but then they disagreed with that statement at SHPO. And so then they're requiring us to do this thing. For many reasons we can guess, but we're gonna say,
Yeah.
they just decided, so.
so yeah, that's,
So that's our update, and we'll keep you updated if
And I
something
was gonna
changes.
say, and you and I both know the worst part of the whole thing is every time we get backed up like this and more things get added, the cost rises. So it's sad, but we'll just have to take it one step at a time. So, all right, we will go to project number 24, the liquor store. Mr. Troy,
How you doing, guys?
doing good.
So I'm gonna let Greg come up. He's from Riley
Yep,
Construction. They're big.
Greg, if you want to just take a
He's
seat.
there.
Yeah,
I'll give you a copy of what you just handed me here.
perfect.
So I know most of you saw the bid from last fall
But this is updated with the new costs and everything, and I'll let Greg walk through, he's gonna do a far better job than I will.
So thank you folks for allowing me to be here. I guess this is a complete redo of the parking lot.
Needs it.
Yeah, sure does.
If you folks want to read through it, and I can discuss it a little bit. Questions you would have?
This includes the culvert thing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talked about, okay.
Right, so the Todd County is donating us 3 culverts for underneath. Riley's did put it in their bid to bury those and take care of those areas. And then, the new bid from the other company has that in there also, to take it back and give it to me. And then this is not for the removal of the concrete in the back of the building, front of the building, or the sidewalks. That's gonna be done by the gentleman that did our septic tank in. We figured that would be easier because he's gotta come in and fill the filling of the septic tank, tamping it down and refinishing it was already paid for when we put the other septic system in. So we have that credit. So then there is a partial bill that'll cost to pull that concrete out, the sidewalks out, and the back concrete.
Correct me if I'm wrong, is he pulling out the,
The bid for that, for the old septic tank, was to pack and tamp.
okay, isn't he only doing the parking lot concrete, or is he doing the sidewalks and stuff?
He's taking the side, not the steps. So he's just pulling the concrete out. But we don't have to do, if you have part of that in your bid, we can he has his broken up. So he has a bid for what it would cost to just do the removal of the concrete in the back and the concrete in the front.
Yeah.
And then he has removal for the sidewalks.
I was of the understanding the only concrete he was removing was the parking lot in front. I have everything else
And that
included in mind.
would be fine. Then what we could do, he could come back to us, because he has removal for the parking lot, front and back, so it'd be less than what that is. I'll get another quote from him and just let him do the front when he comes in to fill in and finish what we've already paid him to do for the septic system. So there's a little overlap on that.
Ours is removing all the concrete except
The front parking lot.
parking lot. It's removing in back for the dumpster, the steps, the sidewalk in front. And basically everything on the drawing. Now, all the X and hashed areas of the drawing are concrete that gets removed and replaced. The concrete quote that is listed in here is an option.
We do have another concrete bid, which I shared also, to replace that, because of the dollar amount, we would need 2 bids for that too. So I do have a second bid. However, this is the gentleman they worked with. He was very prompt, came in, came up with a bid right away and came back, and has worked with them guys a lot of times, so they have
We do
trust built up between them, so.
50, 60, 70 jobs a year. It's with Eagle Concrete out of Alexandria.
And then if you're wondering about the extension, why we're going wider with the concrete on the back, I know Judy knows this, but for the rest of the council, if we go with what we have now back there and just replace that, when the dump trucks come to pick up our bins, they're just gonna rip the tar up again. So in order to have that not be an issue anymore, we're going the length of the first part of the building. And then we'll be able to they'll be able to pull with both tires onto the concrete and grab those dumpsters moving forward, so we won't have the tear up issue that we've had in the past.
It was a year ago when we first looked at this.
Yeah,
It might have been April even.
it was April, 2nd of April.
I know the engineer from the Todd County Highway Department very well, so I called him up and asked him. So don't you guys typically, supply the culverts and stuff for the road approaches? And he said, yes. And I said, well, this is what's going on at the liquor store where you donate the culverts. He said, yes.
Yeah, he even showed up to meet with you.
So that was, I called him and he was there the next morning and we met.
And then we talked about extending the parking lot to the road. They couldn't give us that easement, but what they're allowing us to do is grandfather us in, because technically we would have lost another 3 feet of parking lot. But with Greg working with them, they allowed us to keep that 3 feet, and then Greg's concrete guys are able to do a full 12-inch curb or 10-inch curb out there, so we don't have people jumping it anymore. That is something that Mark's group wouldn't be doing because they don't have the second concrete, but it doesn't have the curbing on that either. So.
I would also include digging out the ditches for drainage. They don't drain now.
No, they're too shallow.
I'm sure.
And the concrete's at the culverts that are going in there larger too, that's another reason why they're gonna have to be excavated out.
With 15-inch culverts.
How soon are you looking to?
We would probably talk, but the after Labor Day, so sometime in September at the latest, first week of October, depending on what they have for their scheduling and be able to get stuff done. Are you thinking double coat, or are you still thinking we just do the bottom coat and then top coat in the spring? Cause if we do the second coat, we need to be closed for 2 days, right? Cause you can't drive on it.
I don't know, I guess, we originally had talked about, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, doing the bottom layer sometime during the summer. If that would.
Yes, yep, and then
Like a Monday, Tuesday or something on your slower days. The second lift, I would wait until fall, when you get a little bit cooler weather, so it cures faster, and you don't get so much of the scarring from cars turning and stuff on it. That's what I'd recommend. If you do it in the fall, shut down on a Monday, I guess you could probably drive on that Tuesday. Being it's only a thinner layer.
if it's we're talking last week of September and the first week of October, I mean, I don't know where you guys are at, I mean, that can get a little bit, maybe flushing and getting too cold into there.
Yeah, the colder weather is, you don't get as nice of a job cosmetically, with colder weather. You're more likely to see the seams and stuff from the asphalt paver.
So then where we might be on this is you can literally drive on it after they're done that Monday, Tuesday, so we'd probably be back open. But they have to do the concrete stuff too, so depending on when that's all getting figured out, but we're trying our best not to be closed during the summer. So.
With the concrete, I don't know, they could probably do that in stages, I'm not sure.
That's what he was thinking, he'd be able to stage it twice, and then we'd have doors that'd be available, and he could even ramp over one of the others, so we have the other door available too. But he's thinking 2 stages, and then that way we don't have to close for the concrete. So it'd be, the other thing that's nice with Riley is they have Todd County figured out, their job figured out, and the concrete figured out, they're gonna manage that for us, where if we go the other direction, we'll be managing when the concrete's worked out, when the concrete gets put in, when Mark's coming in to do the top coat. So at this point, just to make the council aware of that too.
I personally will engineer the project and parking lot.
Is this to the second entrance, or do you know how far it's in the parking lot?
It's all three, there's 3 entrances actually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
we
don't
have,
own the end.
Yeah,
You're not doing
but
that?
we own half of it, according to our lot line.
Yeah.
So I had the city guys come out, so we own half of it, but we can't do half of a culvert or half of it if you do it. So the plan on that is we're gonna do the parking lot down the middle, his will stay. It'll be like 15 feet going back before you get into his, that's gonna stay whatever condition it's in. And then when we get to about 15 feet to the culvert, we'll have to exit, just come out at an angle to fix the whole approach. I believe that's what we got in there, right?
The way it's drawn out here, it's the whole approach. It's really hard to be part of the approach, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the whole approach. And then on the bottom, we put a concrete spillway, because that's where all the water's gonna go.
Right.
There's a concrete spillway, so we don't have erosion into the road ditch.
And we'd have to dig out the whole road to put the new culvert down there, and if we didn't do that one, we're gonna run into the same problem with the backflow, so that was kind of the conversation.
and that's because you said that Todd County's giving you 3.
Correct, yep, cause if we did R2, it would go to that one, and we'd have the same problem on that other approach. With it wearing all the water coming over top and freezing and everything.
You don't wanna retain water against your road ditches, and that's not good for the asphalt either. get rid of the water.
How thick is the asphalt on your bid?
4 inches compacted. After compaction will be 4 inches.
Okay.
It's two 2-inch layers. That's very typical for parking lots. We're gonna grind up the existing asphalt that's there. It's a process called reclaiming. We grind it up and use it as base. My philosophy is you already bought and paid for it, why pay to haul it away? To me, it's the best base you can get for new asphalt. It will provide a lot of strength for the new asphalt.
It's way more solid than gravel.
Yes. We do it a lot. Any place where we can increase the elevation, we do that. And here with drainage, you have no issues. Because the parking lots. Sure. Where we don't have any problems there, parking lots that are totally surrounded by concrete curb and stuff. You can't create an elevation. Any questions on anything else? One thing we do not have included in here is grass seeding, put material up against the edges of the asphalt. We can certainly do that if you wish us to do so. Striping the parking lot, I believe, when the gentleman from the city was out there last year.
He said they had a striper, they could probably do it.
Yeah, and they could bring their skid loader out, put material against the edges of the asphalt when we're done. We'll just save the city some money. Yeah, the employees, the equipment already to do it.
That was Darren's thoughts, is to just, they button it up at the end. And then whether they do the spraying, or I've used those sprayers too when I have a painting company, so they could just give me the sprayer and I can spray that out too. So we get that figured out between the two of us. As far as adding the lines, and then I double checked and I'm pretty sure we have to do 2 handicap spots, not 2 when you're doing this. So they'll be on the end where the ramp already is, we have one there, we're just gonna extend that first parking spot
Oh, I thought there
by
was
the
two
deck. No, there's only one there. So
I think with your size of lot,
we have to do 2, yep. So we're gonna, and then the nice thing about that is the space to exit the people, we'll double line that in between, cause it already exists there. So we don't have to lose another parking spot to make a second handicap.
There's an attorney that runs around. He's been in Alexandria lately. People don't have the right handicap parking facility. He sues the businesses on behalf of some gentleman.
That likes making money.
Yeah.
So, and then the concrete side too, that will also fix the lift issue that we have. That's also taking the ramp that's breaking apart and incorporating that into the slab that is where you walk into the main entrance by rebar coming back, so that'll stop breaking away. And then the other steps going into the main liquor store are fine, but the steps going into the other one are falling away, and then the one handrail is cracked off. So it's a hazard there, so that got added in to this year's bid. It wasn't originally.
And that's, all this, what you're discussing is in this bid?
That is, yeah.
There's 2 numbers.
Yep.
There's the concrete is not tied to the asphalt. What that means is we don't have to do the concrete to do the asphalt. It's just for.
So we're looking at a total of 142,000 area?
Yep. Yep. The only thing this does not include is any classified gravel that we may need for shaping that parking lot. If we need any, I believe it would be a very small amount. And that is $17.40 a ton, which is listed on the bottom. That must be pre-approved by Troy or the city, if we need any.
But like, we save a lot of.
Yes. We're not all, the only thing that's getting hauled away is the concrete. And the stuff we dig out of the ditch. That's it.
Sorry, did I interrupt?
Any other questions?
I don't believe I have any. So, do we want to discuss this further and let them know, or?
I think that's probably the best, then, you know, the other one, we have a bid for concrete, we have a bid for the asphalt, but it'd be nice to compare and put those together and see where we're at. And then I can also try to notate some of the stuff that's on this bid that's missing from that bid. Like I said, the curb along the side, that would just be rolled tar on the other bid, which is slightly different.
And when you talk about that curve, here's the road, that's
That's
right
that
here.
long ditch
Yeah,
where
right here.
everybody drives through, you know, so.
It's called a B612 curve, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll be 6 inches high with a 12-inch base.
Coming out, holding it in place.
Or it'll be close to 2 feet wide.
And then, since they have the removal of the other stuff, I will talk to, and you know this gentleman too, Elgin.
They're eligible.
Yeah, I'll chat with him and get that refurbished, because I mean, his whole thing to do all that was like $4,773. So it's probably about $2,000 less than that, if he doesn't have to get rid of all the concrete and back. And the sidewalks. Because the sidewalks alone were $773. So that's part of their bid.
Sidewalks are, especially in front of that building, and those steps are not fun to remove.
I can't imagine.
Oh, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of thick concrete, breaking it up. When we started looking at it, by the time you gotta pull the steps out, you have to replace that sidewalk in front. So then we would have had 3 chunks of old sidewalk, and everything else been new, so I don't see the point in trying to, and that's already pimpled and blistered to the point where it's salty, so.
It would look very nice.
Yeah. And you need to.
So it looked really nice 5 years ago, and it was 30% less, but it is what it is at this point.
All of our asphalt's MnDOT certified, meets all MnDOT requirements. I put the grade of asphalt on here that we would use. Yes.
Yeah, and
That's designed for a very hard surface for light traveled areas. So it's used on like county roads and things like that.
so it's better, the initial thing for that too would be for the semis that have been tearing up the back concrete. It won't happen with, it's easily with this, it's stronger, and then also the 4 inches makes a big difference with that big semis going through there. If I'm correct, right, Craig?
Yeah. You are correct.
I guess my opinion, and that council can, however they want, but in my opinion, well, I would rather just move on this, and I get it, there's other things to compare to, but I don't wanna have someone doing this and someone piecemealing
Yep.
things together
When you got
where
one stop
you've
shop.
got one thing
Yep.
and it's going to be less impact on the liquor store, it will flow together a little better than piecemealing here, there, and everywhere. And that's just my opinion. When you do a big project, I don't wanna throw money away, but at the same time, if we can't coordinate
We will be
things with
throwing
other
money.
companies, that can be a dollar sign in itself.
Well, and that's my worry too, that I was gonna bring up, is my first choice would be here, just because the communication's been good, the follow through's been good. I mean, they showed up in April, not even 4 days later, I had a bid last year. And after one conversation and stopping out, I had the next bid 2 days after that. So that part's been really convenient. The other part that I say too is just to say, go with a little bit of what Laura's saying also, is when we have the piecemeal, there's a higher potential to be like something, oh, I can't make it on the project, this happened, and now we're closed for more days where we're losing more revenue that way too.
I agree.
Well, and even the knowledge and the connections about already getting the culverts.
Right.
That is absolutely fabulous.
And being able to coordinate that person because they have a relationship from previous jobs is helpful.
Absolutely.
And there's a couple of community members that'll probably be working on it.
That's true. And they did a really good job at the golf course.
I drove up there the other day just to look at it.
And the VF, I mean, Mark did a wonderful job on the VF, so there's nothing against that either. Just, like you said, I think
We have
it's
a lot
buttoned
more,
up.
we have a lot more pieces, moving pieces that we're gonna be dealing with.
I would agree with that.
With that being said, I will make a motion to go ahead and approve Joe Riley Construction as our main construction person for this project.
Okay.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the bid from Joe Riley Construction, for the, parking lot reconstruction at the Osakis Liquor Store. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only thing I ask is, someone sign the estimate, email back to me, and so.
That would probably have to be somebody above me for this dollar.
If you wish, you can sign it.
Dang, look at that.
exact same copy you have, I believe.
And then for me and you, Greg, the only thing I would want to do is make sure when we're getting closer coordinating with Elgin, make sure he gets that backfill tamped and that concrete out.
The sooner you guys can do that,
Cause we could leave it dirt for a little while.
the sooner you guys can do that, especially where that old septic tank was, the better, so that settles.
Right.
So it settles naturally, you know, have them packed, but Mother Nature settles it naturally better than anybody can pack it. And the last thing you wanna do is come in and pave that thing, and 3 years from now, there's a hole where this old septic tank was, because the gravel wasn't packed.
Yeah, we don't want that.
And I mean, I could also, since we're taking some of the other stuff out of that bid, I mean, I know originally it was because it costs less to not have to pull the tank out and remove it. But it would be a better job than not to have the tank there. I mean, yes, you can tamp around it, but you're gonna get that far better vacuum and tamping. And I think you would agree with that if that tank is gone. But
Did they cave the lid in or pull the lid off?
the lid is to take off. And he will remove the lid along with the other concrete. That was per our conversation. But the bid was for them to fill it back in and tamp it.
Some folks, I've been told, I've never experienced this, they'll like just smash the lid down in. Well, if that conduit there's gaps, yeah, then sooner or later they're gonna settle in your parking lots like this.
No, and that's exactly what he had said too, is he goes, the original conversation was, well, why do we have to pay to remove the lid? And that's exactly what he said, is you're gonna have issues with air gaps that settle over time if you try to break the lid inside and then tamper it, so.
We should try and get that done as soon as possible.
The only issue I have with that is May, June, July, you're gonna have dirt in the park in that spot for customers, but I mean, if it's tamped hard enough, we might have to do a little
Where
leveling.
exactly is the old thing?
It's the first two parking spots down by where the ramp comes down on the edge,
On the west
left edge
side.
of the building, west side of the building.
Kind of right in the middle, isn't it?
Mhm.
From north to south,
It's on that main entrance too. So. You're right, though, the rain and people driving on it would be good.
We'll pack it better.
I mean, and I don't know if you'd be willing to come and just pull that section out, so we only have 20 feet of gravel in the parking lot instead of gravel from the whole entrance. Cause that would be hellish on the floors in there too, if we get any weather. And I know people would not be willing to walk on that, but I mean, that's something we can chat about too.
If you wanna give them a call, I will be glad to call
I mean, I know you have a relationship with him, and he knows about this part of the bid. He also knows that the original bid for when they dropped the new one in was to take that one out, or to deal with that part of it. And then this extension here was for that concrete yard. But I can call him too and let him know that the concrete's just gonna be the front drive area, parking area.
Ready?
And stay everything else.
You guys
Yep.
work out.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep it.
We will move on to our
Thanks,
312
Greg.
beautification team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
We'll have a couple things to say now.
Do you have more stuff for us?
I can just, it's just that other bid, we're gonna have to get it refigured for the polling, but I'll leave one with Angela.
Thank
I don't think you guys need, we already talked about the whole max is 4,733, the 773 is coming off because they're doing the sidewalks. And the other one, the back of the parking lot, that's gonna be smaller because they're taking care of the trees. It's probably gonna go up $2,500 for him to do that. So, but I'll have him redo that, okay? If you guys need anything from me, otherwise I'll let you do your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You had some stuff to make.
I did, so, I had a note for when we have an upcoming workshop, she'd like to discuss some long-range and short-range plans for the beach and Central Park. And her comment was So I have a picture of the greenhouse that's down there. Depending on how that all comes back, she would like to have something happen yet this year with the greenhouse. And I'm gonna just, so like this is one of them, or that. You guys can see that, there's what. Making it look a little nicer, I'll show these to Angela. So either something like that. Or that, for the greenhouse, a couple different options. Her concern is, she's not quite sure how it happened with that cement trail got a little windy going to the lookout that beautification was doing.
And they were gonna look at that trail and where they put that lookout, because they said it's because of the slope. But then we didn't like where they had the lookout either, that we thought there was gonna be too much excavation that needed to be done. So we're re-looking at that.
But she'd like to meet with all of us to get, show her their different ideas, and that could be something, because the greenhouse is already
Yep.
there, that could happen this year to show just something being done.
But we did put beautification team out of the workshop.
Well, I maybe have a comment to it. Would it be better suited if she were to talk to the park committee board? Run kind of things through it and then come to council, just because they're dealing with that whole project, involved in the whole process and why it is. And I can tell you that why I got windy is because of ADA.
Okay.
We're required to have an ADA compliant, even if it isn't a asphalt or cement, even if it's just concrete or gravel. It still has to have a path that meets that, and I think that's why it's winding based on what their elevation was.
Okay.
Now, we wanted Jeff to then show like this plaza somewhere. Where do we want this plaza? And he gotta put it wherever. I don't know that that's exactly it, but we got some public that was like, well, where is this? And I don't see that, the lookout's here, the lookout's there. Well, we wanted to just show her.
Okay.
Now is exactly where it's gonna be. I
So
don't
maybe
think
there's
so.
just been a little miscommunication on that.
It's just more of an idea, so.
So I should maybe tell her when she goes to the park committee.
She should bring
meeting
this up, yeah, and
And
then just,
talk to them first, and then, okay, all right.
I think that's just my idea, I'm just thinking of the process, like she's on the board.
Yeah,
Just bring up like, I'd like to do X, Y, Z, and let's fit into a thing, because they're the ones thinking about that.
Sure.
I mean, the
no,
council
that's a good idea.
gives approval, but they're not on the process of thinking about that, so.
And then as you probably saw, there was a lot going on, a lot of stuff got painted today,
Yeah,
some weeding, some mulch, I think.
the welcome signs got cleaned up.
Yeah, quite a number of projects, so they did a good job today.
Good. Good.
That was all.
And at the April meeting, the park board approved moving forward with, Angela trying to secure a Sourcewell grant. She just found out on May 5th that we did not get approved for that funding, which we were gonna look or use kind of for the outlook and getting some benches and tables, but that is not gonna happen. But she'll keep her eyes open for more grants. Project number 49, Main Street project, and this is what Angela alluded to earlier. We should have the bids back by the 14th. With that being said, if bidding closes, they have to have them in by the 14th. We won't have them on the 14th, will we?
No, I mean, you can watch it virtually at the open them, but all it is open them and then given their supposed price, and then they have to have all their contract stuff in there, and then they review them to make sure they meet bid. And then that's what they bring to you and saying, this is low bid and it met all the specs that we put out there. So he's saying that they could do it probably by Monday, if we wanted to meet that early, but sometime that week I would suggest if we could try to get together Otherwise, like I said, the next week is Memorial Day week, which we could meet early in that week too, but I can send something out, or if you guys wanna talk about some possible dates, say it today.
So the 18th through the 22nd is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is 18th EDA?
No, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Yeah, because maybe Memorial Day.
We will do that whole week, yeah.
Yeah.
And the 21st would be planning and zoning.
Correct.
Yes. And we could do Monday the 18th, ED is at 4:30.
Sure.
I will say that night at 7 PM is a senior awards night, I'm gonna be there, but not that it couldn't be earlier, but I'm not missing it, so.
Okay.
Understand.
Good for you.
And fine.
Otherwise, yeah,
Anything that week.
Tuesday, Wednesday would be okay.
I'm good with any of those days.
Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm fine with. On Monday, but. it's not bad.
Just like Wednesday? Is that okay with you, Randy, or that's something, you guys are the ones that have, I don't know,
Second
Thursday.
Thursday, school board is on Wednesday.
Well, what about Tuesday the 19th then?
I gotta move on.
So?
I gotta move on.
Not
No,
for
that's
3
fine.
hours.
Wash your hair.
Now, with this, like, we're saying a workshop, or are we saying just to deal with the bid?
I would say we wanna do both, I don't know that bid's gonna take long.
Okay,
I have some scenarios on there which she asked me about, like whether you guys wanna award it or you wanna have the final assessment hearing to see how many people would, dispute it, that's an option.
I just, disputing or not, is somehow we get around it. We already.
you know,
Well, at that point,
Can't any further, it's already been kicked around, as some people said, 15 years, so.
you know, at that point, if it's just this, do we just come in after?
And if you're wanting to say, I want another night to do it, that's fine, like after EDA, we could tackle just this, if that's all you wanna do. But if we wanna tack these other things for the workshop, then I think we need a little bit more.
Well, that's fine with me. If we just want to tackle the bid thing, we can still have you up to school by 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably,
Yeah.
is an hour long enough for ADA or?
Usually,
Yeah, usually by 5:30 we're out.
I would say by then it should be 6, cause I can't imagine it would take more than a half hour.
I would say,
Why isn't EDA on that calendar?
I don't know, it should.
That
Well, it's
moved
usually on
up.
the 25th, we moved it to the 18th at the last meeting because
It's all right, we got your back.
remember what Brian says, maybe put in your calendar. So, yeah,
So
the
it
18th is EDA.
Okay, so let's plan on, as far as looking at the bids, on the 18th at 5:30,
Perfect.
if that's okay with
And
everybody.
then Thursday's virtual, so I don't have to drive here. I didn't
Yeah, it's virtual.
catch that part, okay.
Yeah. You
Let's
don't
plan
have
on
to
driving
drive
here.
here.
Actually,
No, it's
Those
not
are
going
the
on.
outside to make it, okay, that's
EDA, you do virtual now?
No, the bid opening.
The bid opening is virtual, and I'll resend you the link, I'm sure it was on there, but I'll send all of it, if you guys wanna log in and watch it, like I said, it's really short.
I mean, if you have to post for the agenda, if there's some other thing that we've talked about that we could maybe squeeze 2 things into, that'd be fine. And if not.
Well, as long as I'm up there by
Yeah,
7, that's all I care about,
Right.
but, I mean, we can talk about anything, I can post for all of them when we get through them all, but I'm just saying I have to.
Yeah.
I just
That'd
don't
be
want
nice.
this that, but yeah.
100%. Get through what we can in order.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
I was gonna say, maybe my discussion about beautification team, we could address that night, because that shouldn't take more than 5-10 minutes.
Sure.
Because I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be asking opinions and asking for ideas and kind of throwing in my ideas about some stuff. So, why don't we do that, those 2 things, and Then we know we can have you at school by 7.
Okay.
Okay, we have a couple of bills here from WSB, one for the Main Street project and one for VCP sanitary sewer replacement project.
I'll make a motion to approve the WSB bill for 28,804 for the Main Street project and the DCP sanitary sewer replacement project of $241.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve WSB bills for the Main Street project of $28,804 and for the VCP sanitary sewer replacement project of $241. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Project number 7, the community center. The Osakis Community Center will be stripping and will have their floors stripped and waxed by Service Master on June 1st. The cost of that process is going to be covered by the Osakis Senior Club. So we were working through Angela, Alderman and I met with Service Master, asked Dan to come up and join us. Being he's gonna be a cleaner, but we wanna get it back up to snuff and make maintenance for him easier because it's looking really bad. We're also gotta get a hold of Darren too, wondering if we can replace the ceiling tiles that are bad before we do the floors so that we don't have any equipment going in there and really that we're done. So we also, between the senior club and the fire department, we have ordered some industrial mats, and I know there's a question about if they're for kitchen use. Have you heard
Oh,
about
I
that?
haven't heard that, no.
Well, we got the mats, but now they're questioning if they can be used in the kitchen. But we're looking at getting them back in front of the stove and the counters so that they have the cushy to stand on versus concrete floor. Like I said, the senior club and the fire department are working on that also. So. Project number 42, cleanup day, will be this coming Saturday, May 16th at the Osakis Liquor Store from 9 to 11. Angela's posted flyers around town on the website and on Facebook. STS West Central and Douglas County and the Lake Association members will be present to help with the event. I also will be there. I don't know if you need my help. I just kind of walked around last year, but I'll be there.
I won't make it this year. I have run, not beating the week. I usually make it one.
I'll find somebody to pick up my junk for me again.
So I'm hoping that everybody takes advantage of that. Is coming up.
Picking up yard waste too, because I didn't see that on any of the flyers.
No,
They're not.
he's saying that anybody hasn't, bring it down there. He said the last 2 years went around, they've only had 2 places that they picked it up at. So he's saying,
I won't be here to bring it down.
bring it down there, otherwise you can use our compost site, but then you have to bring it there.
It's gonna go, yeah.
Well, how many bags you got?
You don't have that many, Chad, can swing by your house.
I mean, he would.
He could, I mean, he's gonna be able to pick up a few, we only have 4 on the list right now.
Last year, I think I had Damien do it.
Well, I didn't catch last year's, but this year's harder now than don't have a trailer and stuff, so or a truck or anything. So I put it in the bag, so I send it out before cleanup day.
Yeah, and all that. Yeah.
So.
Just has low use.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if it's, like you say, if nothing else, we only got a few bags, my seats are down on my Tahoe, I can throw them in the back.
Well, maybe I could.
So,
I'm not ready yet, no.
You have a little side by side, it's not that far to go.
No, I wish I did.
You do.
well, there you go. New investment you can look into.
Yeah.
Project number 60, ordinance administrative citation. Steve Jones from Sourcewell was in town on May 8th and did a ride along with Chad. And we met during the process of updates made to the administrative letters sent last year. Yep, we have a new sheet laying in front of us. And they've reviewed both residential and commercial properties. Chad and I also had a conversation about this. that I want to make sure that administrative citations are handled properly this year. So I will be questioning him about all of these as the months and weeks, or the weeks move on.
Yeah, and if you notice the little key on the bottom, Steve sent out the letters completed on that date, and then the ones that have one, that they were given 10 days, 2, 30, and then 3 were like raised concerns with. Didn't give them a
That's
deadline,
nice.
so you kind of know there is some follow-up, and there should be then something done within those timeframes.
What are the white ones?
What's that?
What are the white ones?
Blank ones, if you watch, it's a watch. Tom said he's working on it, and then Jim Fry is supposedly working on it.
I've been hearing
Well, see if he's
that for 20 years.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him yet.
Chris, I got a few things around, I'm working on it.
I will be talking to Chad then the first part of next week about the first one. And, yeah, because we're gonna really keep an eye on it, see if we can get that, tighten up a little bit. Project number 321, Visitor Center. I'm sure you looked at the background about the donations that we received last year. Thus far for this year, Angela has already received $900 in donations for the staff at the Visitor Center. And we have not seen anything from Osakis Lake Association or the Nelson's Men's Club yet. EDA has said that they would be willing to contribute, help some funds to that also. And do we just have one person hired at this point?
Jackie.
Yep.
Jackie's the only one now. And if we do cut some hours and then the Heritage Centers, I think we'll be okay.
Yep.
The one idea I did have, and I don't know if maybe it's dumb and you guys wanna tell me absolutely not, but with the chamber has worked the meat raffle at the pub, and a lot of times it's like between $500 and $800 for working for a couple hours. Would it be the worst idea to have a couple city council people do that and just say we're earmarking it for the visitor center?
I would have no problem with that.
Get some,
At the pub, you're thinking, or should we check other?
I don't
Place
care,
either.
I just know so the Lake Association runs the meat
Yep,
raffle at
yep.
the pub. And that's the only one that the chamber has done. And I made pretty good money for a couple of hours of doing it. I think you've
We've done it
helped
for
with-
some
Yeah.
events, yeah.
And you can think about it, there's several different sign up dates that people, organizations can take to do, just food for thought if the city wanted to kick in an extra $500 to some sort of project without it being taxpayer fund.
Yep.
Just an idea.
Appreciate that.
So I mean, if you want, I can talk to the Lake Association and see if they have
Oh,
some
I can-
openings.
I was gonna say I can talk to, is Bruce?
Yeah,
Yep, I've got his number,
okay.
but if I don't write it down here.
It is kind of fun and you get to mingle with people and you get just our projects out there, so it may not be the worst thing to do.
And then do you need a motion for that?
Well, I don't think that we've actually motioned we had a lot of discussion about doing the visitor center, but I don't think we motioned that you wanna open it based on donations, so I would like something, if
Okay.
that's how you would like to see it run this year, so I have some direction.
I will make the motion to keep the visitor center open based on the donations that are given to the city.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve to staff the visitor center based on donations received for staffing. That the city receives for earmark for that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Project number 231, beach lifeguards. Two lifeguards will be returning for 2026. That's great to hear. Connor Goldmanson and Aaron Collins. Connor will need to be recertified, and the city has set that up for him to attend. I know that they have been reaching out to see if we can get one more applicant, and the city is willing to get that applicant certified as long as they work at the beach, correct? Is that the way I'm reading it?
Yeah, like we'll pay for their certification as long as they're working for us.
Okay.
Pay them their one somewhere else.
So if any of us here, if anybody who wants to be lifeguard, send them in.
It's nice if we have 3, cause this, their schedules, and if we have somebody there 2, you're gonna have open shifts.
And they have to be 15?
They have to be, well, let me think. Yes, 15,
Okay.
yes.
Sounds like some kind of scout would do something.
Well, as I was saying, like Michaela has talked about it a little bit too.
I mean, other than cleaning up the beach, it's not that difficult of a thing.
No.
Have some-
Unless you get a car with a 6-year-old dropped in.
Yeah, unless you get some
Right.
kids that are problematic. One of the lifeguards is really good, they wanna swim off the raft, they'd say, well, you swim from here to there without touching, and then you can go up there, that way you're not in this situation where somebody goes out and they can't make it, and then you're gonna have to save them, so.
That's very good, very wise.
That's similar to what they do in pools too.
Yeah.
I go out for deep end and you gotta do all this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good plan.
I'm gonna talk my kids into it anyway. For whatever reason. Maybe easy lay on the beach and
Right.
do some work here and there.
Project number 69, information for the council. I'm a member of, I don't even remember what it's called, MMA, but it's a mayor's association through the League of Minnesota Cities. And one of the mayor from Cross Lake has sent out an email to all of the Minnesota mayors in that organization. They are looking to send a letter to the state of Minnesota regarding the new Paid Family Leave Act. I would very much like to sign it, but I wanted you guys to be aware of what I would be signing. Minnesota has a whole lot of different leave programs. So we're just, as mayors of these towns, I'm just saying, hold on, let's get it together. So I don't know, if you guys object to me signing that, I will not sign it. But I think it's good for the state to know our feelings on it. But I tell you what, for even a town the size of Osakis, tell you what, we hope nothing major ever happens to any of our employees, that they have to use the paid family leave for what it's set up for, because it would be a burden on us. Big time. So,
I did like the verbiage in this where it said, just kind of get your ducks in order before necessarily implementing all of this.
yeah. I know that they've already got big problems with the paid family leave act, so. But we knew that was gonna happen.
Yes. No, I was comfortable.
Okay, if you're all fine with that, then I will be taking care of that tomorrow, 15 minutes at time, 5 minutes. And I appreciate you, letting me do that. Project number 110, gambling, the Knights of Columbus and Immaculate Conception Church are requesting approval for a raffle to be held on September 27th, 2026 at the Immaculate Conception Church. So they have applied for a gambling license for that day.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve Knights of Columbus raffle for September 27th, 2026 at the Immaculate Conception Church. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do you need two motions here? Do we need to approve the special event too?
For, this last one,
Yeah. Oh, it does say summer raffle permit.
they're just doing raffle.
Yep.
I asked him about their other, picnic,
Yep.
but he said he was gonna do that at a later time.
Okay,
Maybe it was a different day, so,
already.
don't have that quite yet.
Project number 408, vacating street or alley. I'm sure you read the background. So as Angela's working with the DNR on her park project, it just keeps getting more and more interesting all the time. So back in 1882, of course, they named a street right there alongside the lake.
Why not?
Sure, why not? So, before we can get issued the DNR grant, even after the archaeological dig, we need to vacate that street.
And the reasons I highlighted in there, they do some type of certification that we sign that says it's meant to be stay apart because we spent these funds on it. And with it being an alley or a street, it's technically not necessarily our property, and they wanna see it deeded as our property, so what we need to do is a vacation process. Because it abuts the lake, I have to give the DNR 60 days to review it, so figured I'd start the process now. I did ask her if this would hold anything up, she says, well, they wouldn't do the final check until this was in place, so next year,
We
now,
should
but
go
I figured I'd rather just
get
get that.
this done now, so we're making progress.
I don't know what I'll run into with anything.
We need a public hearing to vacate this one?
We don't?
Yes.
Yeah, so what you're doing,
Alright.
what you would be doing, yes, is setting up a hearing. If I do it like July 13th would be the earliest one, because I have to do the 60-day, that means I have to send it out by Wednesday. If you do August, then I can wait longer, send a letter to DNR, but I do have it ready, so I can just send it out. And then that's when we have our hearing, the people around there get notified, plus it's in the paper. So then we can have anybody that doesn't like our project come in and talk about it again. So.
Wonderful.
And I would suggest, I would suggest August 10th. Breathe,
A little bit more time.
we gotta breathe. You know, and we know that the rest of the thing it's not gonna be done by August 10th anyway.
Well, I was gonna say, do we actually have to have a special date, or can it be at one of our,
That is
so
our
that would
break.
be our meeting,
Yeah,
okay.
it is our break.
Well, both
That's
of them
what
will be our
it's-
meeting, yes, perfect. I love the August option. We got enough other stuff going on that. So I'll make a motion to request for vacating the portion of Elm Street and set a public hearing for the vacation on August 10th.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve resolution 26-16 to accept the request for a vacation of a portion of Elm Avenue and set a public hearing to consider vacation on August 10th, 2026. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Is there anything further that needs to be brought before the council? Then our next meeting will be June 8th. Well, no, our next meeting will be Monday the 18th at 5:30. And regular city council June 8th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Oh my gosh, this is the longest meeting we've had in a long time.
Right.
So